When I was diagnosed, I had just had my 59th birthday, and it was like the world stood still. But in terms of what I actually felt, I think it was almost a blank, because it was just incomprehensible almost. And I went outside and phoned my husband and said, I've got breast cancer. And there was this sort of stunned silence at the other end of the phone.
Funnily enough, I never had the thought that this is it for me. It was almost, I've just got to get through this treatment. And my mindset was, I guess, being younger, just want to get through this as fast as possible and get my life back.
Chemotherapy was without doubt the worst part of it, because I think by the time I went in for chemo, which was a month after surgery, I'd gone from the initial stage of shock at the diagnosis, and as I said earlier on, I was almost in a blank state when I was first diagnosed. But the couple of weeks from diagnosis up to surgery, and then a month of recuperating from surgery before they feel you're well enough to start chemotherapy, the full enormity of what was going on had kind of sunk in. So by the time I started chemo, I was very, very frightened, felt very kind of ground down by the whole thing.
I was really lucky with chemotherapy. It was only at round 6 that I crashed and burned, really. I had this feck and docetaxel, so sort of after, just by round 2, I'd lost my hair, and actually hair falling out was the most traumatic thing, because it's every day and just no one can describe that. I think where I found and felt it to be hardest is almost coming out the other side now and going back to normal, and almost that normal that I wanted initially doesn't exist anymore, because I've changed and grown as a person. So actually, in some ways, the post-treatment mental fight is almost it's been harder for me than probably the physical treatment fight.
So almost at the same time, I also rang up the Haven, and I came in here, I think after my first chemo, probably at my lowest point. When I first walked into the Haven, and I came through the doors downstairs and walked into that lovely open space, I just was so relieved, and I felt so peaceful almost as soon as I walked in, just from the atmosphere of the place. And it was actually the first time I felt my shoulders starting to unwind and beginning to relax.
Even coming here, you meet different people, you talk to them, and you get a better understanding of the situation with cancer, and it becomes less worrying.
The first time I walked into the Haven, I just felt a sense of calm and tranquility. It just felt like I had left my troubles at the door, and I just entered this new world of calmness, kindness, and just realising that you're not alone, actually.
You know, it's like the recovery space, yeah, place for recovery. You know, the finishing, moving forward bit. You want something separate. Yeah. It makes you feel as though you're moving on, you know.
So actually, I tried quite a few different therapies to see how they would help. So I had quite a few sessions of shiatsu, which I found really, really just calming and helping me sort of focus the energy in the body. Reflexology really helped as well in terms of sort of getting to the different points in my feet, and actually it felt like although it was helping the whole body, it felt like it was a treat for the area that I felt like I was really suffering from. And one of the other therapies I found really useful was mind-body therapy. So working out ways to just let go of your fears, whatever they may be, and thinking and starting to think about the future as well, which was really, really helpful.
My body felt so bashed from being cut with surgery, being endlessly injected with chemotherapy, being poisoned, being jabbed and weighed and all the rest of it. And just to lie there and have somebody give you a massage was wonderful. And the thing that will always remain with me was my poor sore head, because another side effect people don't really talk about much is when your hair starts to fall out from chemotherapy, it is initially quite sore as it pulls out, and you can get round it by cutting it very short or even having it buzzed before it all goes, but it still hurts. And to have somebody just massage my head with oil was the most wonderful, wonderful, wonderful feeling.
Well, as for how do I feel, I'm in a more manageable, psychologically manageable state. I was trying to control myself, but I find that I'm sort of getting back to number one. It's specific geared to that. It's not geared to having the surgery, give you the medication for the cancer. It's there for your well-being, moving on, you know, in the sense that you get to a better understanding of your food, what's best for you. There is all these complementary remedies, treatment. So these are all the benefits that you'll get out of places like these.
And I think it's just a great way to come and feel safe when you're going through treatment, or even after treatment actually, with people who can sort of say, oh, I'm 5 years down the line, and sort of giving you that sort of, oh, okay, it's going to be fine, I can just keep going feeling. So I think it's a great place to come to meet people of all ages, all backgrounds, and whatever stage of your treatment journey you're on. It's definitely somewhere where you can just experience being with like-minded people and know that they've got your best intentions at heart.
I really would say it's just made the whole experience for me so much more tolerable than it would otherwise have been, and I'm so glad I came here.
Put it this way, the Haven has, from day one, this place has been recommended to me. Bart's, St. Joseph, individual who I met at St. Joseph, I got the leaflet, and they've been saying, you should go to this place, you know, it's in Fulham. Places like this is important because it's continuous, it's there. You can come in, sit down, read, relax, it's warm. You meet other people you can converse with. You know, if you're not having any treatment, you can still come in and relax, have a cup of tea, read the books in a more specific setting from the hospital setting. So it's needed, really. You need to have places like this.
I think if I met someone who hadn't heard about the Haven, I would be saying, come. It's a place where you can feel free at a time when potentially you feel quite trapped and being on a treadmill of people telling you what to do. It's a place where you can feel normal again, and you can experience and be supported by people who deal with ladies and guys going through breast cancer every day. So you don't need to feel worried about taking your wig off or your headscarf off, which you may do if you were going for a treatment somewhere else. It's a place where you can feel absolutely at home. It is sort of coming to sort of a really nice home in terms of a family. So without a shadow of doubt, just come.